back to work on our next signature, and I'm going to start with the base, and then we're going to build our flaps that are going to fit on this. So this, oh, I think that's just an extra piece. So this piece is out of the patterns and solids because I'm using those as the base all the way through. So this one's going to measure across at 8 inches by 8.5 inches. I made a pocket and my starting was at 2 5/8 by 8.5. And then of course I lose about 1/8 here as this scallops down. Now if you don't want to use a die or a punch, you just want to cut them straight, then you can go ahead and adjust this width accordingly. And just a second, I have to take care of something real fast. Okay. And as you can see, if it shows on the camera, I have some glue marks where a magnet was intended, but then as I got to building the flaps, I had to move the magnet. But that's okay, we're going to cover it up. This is out of scraps, and this is a part of the patterns and solids. Line up my peak right there, follow it up. Needs to come a little bit more this way here at the bottom. There we, nope, it just shifted up here some. There we go. And then I'm taking the ephemera, this lovely piece. We're just going to center her as best as possible. Okay, I'm going to put my glue bottle away for a little bit because we're going to do some construction for pieces that are going to mount on the left side. So I'm going to put that aside. So our first piece that you're going to cut is going to, the starting point was at 7 3/4 inches across by 8.5 inches in the height. We're scoring it at 1/2 inch and we're scoring it at 5/8 inch. Now I've already set my magnet. I've taped it down so I can easily remove it. But then on the back side of this is a magnet, but there's going to be another layer you'll see here in a little bit, so I'm not ready to commit this. But we're going to build onto this. This is a pocket, but we can't add it yet because I've got to put my decorative paper there, so we're going to set it aside. We are going to attach this piece. It's going to measure 7 by 7.5 with a 1/2 inch score, and we're going to center this here on the inside, just in front of that 5/8 score line. It's easier for me to see what I'm doing if I turn it to the side. Okay. And then this pocket, when we come back to this, is going to sit over this so that this then folds over that pocket. But like I said, we'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, the next piece. This is going to measure 6.5 inches across by 6 7/8. I think that's the way it was. Yes, 6.5 inches across, 6 7/8. Again, I used a die, you don't have to. But you are going to score this at 5/8, at 1/2, and at 5/8 of an inch. This piece is going to mount to the top of this, even with this, as best as you can. So once again, I am going to turn this upside down. I'm going to flatten out my hinge. Should line up there like that. Okay. And then I want to reinforce this. All right. So now, oh, that's interesting. I must have thought I was going to do something different with that. Huh? Okay. I don't know why that's there. But that's okay. I'll cover it up when I put paper on it. All right, we're going to cut two that are going to measure 3 3/4 by 5, and you're going to have a 1/2 inch score. And each one of these will center here on this top flap, like so. All right? I'm going to turn mine. It's so funny that I did that. Okay, I'm going to kind of try to find a pattern here on my grid so that I can do my best for centering this. So that completes that build, with the exception of the pockets. We're going to mount this here, and I want that hinge on the top of the base page. So we're going to bring this right up to the 1/2 inch score line, and then we're going to fold that over. I want to push this back, and I need to move this because it is fighting with, it wants to pull the page this way, and I don't want it to. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to let it find its mate, and then I'm going to tack that back down there. All right, so here's what I had to do with my magnets. Okay. Is that gonna work? Let me think this through, because I have a magnet here to keep this closed, and then I have this magnet here to keep this closed. So if this is going to be like this and this is going to be like this, then you're opening this, yeah, it'll work. Whew, okay. Now let's start with this piece here. So out of the 8 by 8, I used this, both of the pieces out of the 8 by 8. But because I wanted to use some stickers on this, I went ahead and put them down, and then This was the leftover trim, and I pulled it out of the scraps. So it's going to sit in here like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. So line this up. Okay, that's the front of the flap. Now, the underside of the flap, we'll be using this side of that same paper out of the 8x8. And it will nestle in here, and it will be covering up those two flaps. The hinge part of it, that is. I ordered myself a squeeze type glue gun. I hope it works. We'll see what happens. All right, now these pieces here, I cut from scraps, green on the inside to help pull the green out of there, and then yellow on the outside. It will help to brighten it up. I need to erase my pencil mark. There's your photo mat. There's your other photo mat. There's that photo mat. Now on the inside here, I did trim out a 4x6 photo mat that I'm going to mount right here. Excuse me. And I'm going to leave this open up here, so if you want, you can tuck some things in behind it. And I had to put tape in the center of that. What a ding ding. That's okay, I can get it off there. Okay, so this will come down here like so, and you can put your photo on here. I may come back in and cover this piece, but right now I'm just going to leave it, and so that we can get this finished. I just really want to try and not create big long videos for you people. So about a quarter, almost a quarter of an inch in, so it's balanced on all sides, and this is left open up here for a pocket. All right, we're going to put this piece on. Okay, so now that is done. Now we're going to get to covering this piece here. From the patterns and solids, I trimmed out this piece, and it's going to go right here. I think this was intended to go in here on this side. All right, so using this pattern, you can reverse it if you want, but I wanted the contrast. But now this piece was cut from this piece, so this was left over. I didn't want to lose it, so I have trimmed. Where did it go? There it is. This was also in my scraps. So I trimmed this to sit in here, and then I trimmed this about 1/16 of an inch shorter, so that there was a little bit of a rim right there. And then I have my pocket that I'm putting in. Oh, that's what I was gonna do there. And then use this green out of the scraps to help complement the green that's in here. Use this off the sticker sheet. And then I'm taking this 8x8 card, and I'm turning it so that you've got some journaling to do here. So let's go ahead and let's get this put in. I'm going to put this in first. So I just want to sneak this up next to the score line, not on it, but next to it. And now we're going to watch my edge over here. And then we'll put this in. Oops, I didn't put any tape on it. So bear with me. Oh, you might want to have the measurements for the pocket. Wouldn't that be nice of me to do that? I just get humming along sometimes. I'm so, what can I say? Knucklehead. Okay, so let me get this fixed here. So this, my starting point on this was at 2 1/4 inches in the height, and then 6 1/2 inches in the length. And do verify on your own your length. It just depends upon how your score came out. And I'm hoping I did mine right, because it will be terrible to have to undo this. Oh, beautiful. And then this, like I said, I pulled the green out to kind of help pull the green out of that floral piece. And then I'm just going to glue about 2/3 of this down. All right, so that completes that. Let's turn this back over, because I remember what it was I was doing on this side before I lose my tiny pieces. Okay, I cut two photo panels that are 3 by 5, and they're going to go right here. And then I have a corner cutter, so I've cut 2. And I'm going to put 1 in each of the upper corners. Now I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to tack this down real quick. And it's fairly easy to make them if you don't have a punch. All right, and then these will sit. Let's open that up so you can see what I'm doing. And then these are going to sit just like about so. This is the first time I have, oh God, no, I'm putting it on the right side. Oh God, I thought I was, that's how clean that came together. This is the first time I have made an album that I'm attempting to put in some dedicated photo mats. I've always kind of strayed away from it because I wanted to leave the ability to choose what you wanted to put, what sizes you wanted to put in. But I thought I would just kind of shake up my own self, if you will. And then, okay, whoops, I closed that prematurely. This needs to open back up. And then we're going to put down this piece so that we can put this piece in. So this is out of the 8 by 8. The reverse side is this, but I wanted the contrast. And I put this on my die machine, not realizing that I didn't verify my measurements. So what I did was, on my die machine, I added this piece with this piece for about this depth, and then trim them together so that I could come here and here on the bottom, add this, and when I get this settled in here, there will be a little bit of a gap in between the two. This is going to be a lot easier if I do it that way. Now, unbeknownst to me, but I'm glad it's there because I do have a magnet on this piece. And I want to tape it down. And this pocket, my starting measurements were 2 5/8 by 8.5, which is the height of this flap. Bring this to me just a little bit. I hope I'm keeping my head out of the video. Line this up. There we go. And now this piece here I can glue in. I'm not real particular about this being taped because it's not interfering with the magnet. There we go. Now we can add this in. And again, I said this was 2 5/8 was my starting point by 8.5 inches. I need to check something. Okay, I'm fine. All right. And then this yellow piece, I took out of the sticker sheets, I took 2 of the green corner markers, and they blend real well with this. And then I took this chipboard piece, there's no place like home, and that's going to go here. But in between these two, there's this notched out piece, there's this little green heart. I put that down there on the bottom. Okay, so then this closes over. Oh, I was wondering about that. I got too close to my hinge. And then that's coming over. That closes. And then on the front, out of the 12 by 12, This is on the reverse side. That is what we're going to put that there. And then I cut a piece that's measuring 6 inches across by 4 inches. That's going down here. And then this cutout card is going here. The word wicked is coming in here up at the top. And then to help pull in the blue, we're going to go to the sticker sheet. And we're going to put these in up here. And then wicked, and then this says, who are you calling wicked? And then this will get glued here to the front. Okay, so here's your pocket. When you open this up, then you've got these photo mats up here. You have this is a pocket, and I think I will cover this. And then you have 2 photo mats here. And then you've got a nice little pocket here and a pocket here. Okay. Let's get some tape on this and let's get it installed into the album. Get some of this stuff out of my way. I'm just going to tape right over this because it's just not, it's fragile. It's not in there very well. Okay, there we go. Okie dokie. I'm going to bring this almost all the way to the end. I don't know if I want to do this. I rarely take all the tape off. It's just, but if I misplaced it, it's just so much undo to get it all off, because knowing me, more than one piece stuck down. So almost to the end, make sure my top and my bottom edges are lining up. There we go. Okay, I'm not hearing any more pops, so I think we're good to go. Okay, so there you have it. With the most of the weight here on the left-hand side, you've got this. There you go. We're done. We'll see you on the next build. Bye-bye.